Want to know why your child hates reading and what you can do about it? Keep watching. Welcome to Tailored Literacy. I am Shondolyn Richardson, an educator of 21 years with a strong background and emphasis in reading literacy, and I'm here to help you. So you clicked on this video because you heard your child say, "I hate reading," and you're trying to figure out why. You're going to want to stick with me because one of the most surprising reasons is at the end. Reading is a complex process, so there could be a lot of reasons why a child might not like reading. Let's rule out some basics, and then we'll talk about some of those reasons why your child may not like reading. First, let's rule out vision and hearing issues. So if you're noticing that your child is taking a book and maybe putting it close to their face and then, bringing it out or saying that the words are moving or anything like that, you definitely want to talk to your pediatrician or your eye doctor about that. Another thing is if they're having trouble hearing or it seems like they're not hearing the way that they should, then you want to get that checked out as well with a medical professional. Now, when you're thinking about this, make sure that when you're assessing this situation, that your child's not hungry or sleepy or what have you. So, with all that aside, let's get started. We want to talk about 4 very common reasons why kids hate to read. First of all, the book is not on their reading level. A child is not going to enjoy reading a book if it's too difficult for them to read. A child is not going to necessarily enjoy a book that's too easy for them either if they see it as babyish or something that's not challenging them at all. It's times like this when we have to remember Goldilocks in the 3 Bears. The book has to be just right for them. If you don't know your child's reading level, you can ask your child's teacher or you can get in contact with a reading specialist like me. Now, another reason why your child may hate reading is that the books or text that they're reading is just not interesting to them. I'm a big reader myself, and to be honest, I really don't like to read just anything. I like to read books that are interesting to me. They fall in line with my hobbies and my interests. And kids are the same way. They need a book that is of interest to them. Now, in some upcoming videos, I'll be sharing different resources and strategies to kind of help in this area. It is my goal to help you get the right books in your child's hands. Now, this is quite interesting. When a child gets a book that they're really interested in, many times the reading level of it becomes obsolete. They're so motivated. They're so intrinsically motivated, meaning from the inside, that they want to read this book so badly that they'll push through all of the reading difficulties to get that book read. And that is where you want them. So if your child is reading a book that's at a higher level, but they enjoy it, let them read, because they will still be practicing those reading skills and getting better and better. And before you know it, they'll be reading on that higher level. For example, when I was teaching first graders, I had children reading on a first grade level who were into Junie B. Jones. I read Junie B. Jones stories to my students, and they wanted to read Junie B. Jones books too. Well, Junie B. Jones books are on 2nd and 3rd grade reading level. The kids didn't care. They just loved Junie B. Jones books and thought they were funny. So it doesn't matter to them that the book was at a higher level. They wanted to read the books. This is why motivation is very important with kids when it comes down to their reading achievement and growth. And then don't discount other forms of reading material. For example, kids magazines or poetry, especially like funny poems. There are books of just funny poems. And as we know, a lot of kids love comics. They're still reading, so that's still good. And you want that kid to see themselves as a reader. So don't discount the comics. Just keep them coming in, and just let your kid know that he's an awesome reader or she's an awesome reader. Let them know that they are reading. Now, another important reason why kids can hate reading is because they're missing some important strategies that they would need in order to have reading success. This just means that they have some gaps in their reading knowledge, and so they're going to need some support and intervention. In this case, you would want to talk to your child's teacher or a reading specialist. Now, a very surprising reason why some kids hate to read is that they only associate it with testing, school, and doing something hard and tedious. They don't see reading as something that's enjoyable. They don't see reading as having a meaningful purpose for them. So in this case, you want to have books available at home that caters to your child's interest. And if you're not sure what your child's interests are, provide them with books that will allow them to explore different things, learn new things, and maybe discover their interests. They will be able to explore various topics and maybe discover something exciting and interesting to them. Now, you have several options here. So if you know your child's interests, you may decide to buy books for them, and you may choose to buy them online or at Barnes & Noble, or your local store where you can purchase books. But if you're not sure about your child's interests, then you may reach out to your school librarian and talk to them about some suggestions, or you may go to the public library, or you may choose to look at online books, and that way it won't cost you anything. Now, I'll be sharing more about these options and resources in a later video. Now, to help your child have a better view of reading, you want to read to and with them regularly. So you might want to just do this at bedtime. Why? Because we know kids like to get out or going to bed. And so if we start associating reading time with bedtime, then kids will start to get a positive feel about reading from that experience. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. You need to let your kids see you reading. Yes, they need to see you reading. You're reading and you're not having to take a test. You're reading and you're enjoying it. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying you don't like reading either. Okay, so let's just take in all the information I just shared with you and apply it to you as well. But in the meantime, just fake it till you make it. Here's what you do. Get a book, or you could get a magazine, a newspaper, a cookbook, something, anything, especially something that just might be interesting to you. Sit down, open it up, and put your eyes on the page and just go through the motion of reading. Over time, you might be surprised at how enjoyable it can be. Let your kids see you read. And when your child says, "But reading is so hard," remind your child that learning to read is like learning how to walk, ride a bike, or skate. You get better and better with practice. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. If so, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.